Hi, we're Sarah and Kelly. Welcome to another episode of Coloured Mentality.
This week's question is quite a sensitive one.
It's something that we discuss a lot and something we struggle with. So we hope the conversation online can continue to be respectful and open-minded.
So this week's question is, does coloured privilege exist?
Wow, that is a difficult question to answer.
Over.
In terms of positions of power, work, and so on and so forth, I think coloured people do have a little bit of an advantage in this province specifically.
In the communities that I come from, at least, I see that there's definitely there's a privileging, there's a kind of the kind of coloured mentality of we're better than black South Africans, but we're worse than white South Africans.
In some sense, coloured people were seen as sort of better blacks. A lot of the time, coloured people were also used as a buffer to control and to collaborate with an apartheid racial oppressive system.
And black people were only allowed to mix the cement, while coloured people were allowed to lay the bricks. So I think to a certain degree, yes.
Well, that argument doesn't stand if you go to any coloured ghetto in Cape Town, South Africa at the moment. There's very little privilege there.
Again, it's divide and rule, if you have someone that people can be angry at or mad about, then you do that. It deflects from your own, from the white privilege that was created. It created just another buffer between the really have-nots.
The Cape Flats, for example, it's like a forgotten place. It's like a place there somewhere where things happen.
How privileged could I have been if I lived in a flippin' garage with a family of 4? That's 5 by 5 meters, how privileged is that? Yeah, no.
Alan Pakis, for example, it went global, it went international. The fact that the system didn't support this woman. She'd gone everywhere. And eventually she had to resort to killing her own child because the government just is not listening.
Daar is platforms wat mense unite, soos kyk nou die solidarity movement. Fees must fall. Daai is almal op 'n socio-economical vlak.
Certain coloured people have more privilege than other coloured people.
And make the assumption that makes them better than the coloured that doesn't have straight hair.
That doesn't make us any better than the way the apartheid system looked at people.
In my case, it was never a case based on what I looked like or the colour of my skin, but what I did and what I was able to prove.
I think education is number one priority. And the fact that my parents were able to give me those opportunities for me, I do see myself as privileged because majority of our youngsters don't have access to that.
The fact that I'm sitting here is that maybe coloured privilege. The fact that I'm being asked a series of questions on coloured identity, maybe that is coloured privilege, I would like to hear what other people have to say, people out there on the street.
And I don't think coloured people have a privilege. I don't see it. I've never seen it.
The legacy of apartheid is still a big part of 2016, our current situation. And it frustrates me and it annoys me when people tell me to get over apartheid.
There were lots of coloured people who were have-nots. The San, the Bushmen, the Khoi.
And we need to be valued more in this country.